Good morning. We'll start with pressure and fluid statics. Buoyancy and stability. It is a common experience that an object feels lighter and weightless in a liquid than it does in air. This can be demonstrated easily by weighing a heavy object in water by a waterproof spring scale. Also, objects made of wood or other light materials float on water. These and other observations suggest that a fluid exerts an upward force on a body immersed in it. This force that tends to lift the body is called buoyancy force. You can see here, this is the S. The object is submerged below the surface by S distance. The thickness of the object is H and the area on the both sides is A. The buoyancy force is caused by increase of pressure in a fluid with depth. Consider, for example, a flat plate of thickness H submerged in a liquid of density ρf. This is density of fluid parallel to the free surface. So this is parallel to the surface. The area on the top and bottom is same, which is A, and it is at a distance of S below the free surface. The pressure at the top and bottom surface of the plate are, so you can see pressure that is at the top surface, density of fluid into gravity into height, that is H, into area. So this is the amount of force on the top surface of fluid plate, and at the bottom surface of the plate, the buoyancy force, or you can say force exerted by the fluid, is density of fluid, gravity into S plus H. This is the height of the fluid above this plate and area. Then the hydrostatic force, that is F top, is equal to X downward on the top surface, and large force F bottom, which is from downward direction, X upward on the bottom surface of the plate. And the difference of two forces is density of fluid into gravity into volume of the object. Now volume of the plate is, you can say H, this H into area of the plate. So now use this relation, simplify that the weight of a liquid whose volume is equal to the volume of the plate. So this is the volume of the plate, but same amount of liquid is displaced. If you see, so whatever the volume of the plate, the same amount of liquid is displaced. Thus we conclude that the buoyancy force acting on a plate is equal to the weight of liquid displaced by the plate. Means whatever the volume is covered by this plate, the same amount of fluid is displaced. So buoyancy force is directly proportional to the density of fluid, gravity and volume, or you can say amount of volume of the fluid which has displaced. So there is a object density is nowhere. You can see in this expression, this buoyancy force is does not include any property of this object except the volume. Notice that the buoyancy force is independent of the distance of the body from the free surface. It is also independent of the density of the solid body. The relation above for simple geometry has been developed, but it is valid for any body regardless of its shape. So you can take two bodies here with a different shape. You can say this is a plate. Here we can take any shape. This can be shown mathematically by force balance or simply by the argument. Consider an arbitrarily shaped solid body submerged in a fluid at rest and compare it to a body of a fluid of the same shape indicated by dotted lines at the same distance. Means we had an object here, some body, and we had a dotted line here, but this does not have any body. We have fluid here, just fluid. So this fluid is in the rest here at, say this fluid is in the rest at some position. So this body is also in the fluid, so it is at some position. The buoyancy force acting on these two bodies are the same, since the pressure distribution, which depend only on depth, are the same at the boundaries of the body. So what are the buoyancy force? That is Fv on this solid and Fv on this fluid element, which is here by boundary, shown here by boundary. These Fv are same, buoyancy force on these two elements are same, but you can see the weight of this solid is more then the weight of this, if this density is more, say solid has the more density, so this W which is active downward, it is more, so then the body will go downward. And if this weight is equal to this W, then it means both are same density, it will remain as it is here. So depending on the weight of the body, it will decide whether it will go down or it will up. The buoyancy force acting on these two bodies are the same, since the pressure distribution which depend on the depth are the same at the boundaries of both. The imaginary fluid body is in static equilibrium, and thus the net force and net moment acting on it is zero. Therefore, the upward buoyancy force must be equal to the weight of the imaginary fluid body, whose volume is equal to the volume of the solid body. Further, the weight and the buoyancy force must have the same line of action to have a zero moment. This is known as Archimedes principle after the Greek mathematician. You can see the both forces have the same line of action, means this weight is downward and this force is upward. So the line of action of both the forces is same. And this is Archimedes principle. The buoyancy force acting on a body immersed in a fluid is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the body, and it acts upward through the center of the displaced volume. You can see buoyancy force in both cases is same, because shape of both the elements selected is same, and it does not depend on what type of, you can say, solid is submerged. So it is same, it depends only on the volume or shape of the solid. So both have same volume and same shape, so buoyancy force in both cases same. The floating bodies, the weight of the entire body must be equal to the buoyancy force. If the body will float, it means that these two forces are balanced, that is weight is balanced by the buoyancy force, which is the weight of the fluid whose volume is equal to the volume of submerged portion of the floating body. So buoyancy force is equal to weight. Now weight is density of fluid into gravity into volume submerged of floating body. This term equal to the average density of body into gravity into total volume of the body. So here we will know the volume of submerged body divided by volume total is equal to density of average body divided by density of the fluid. So this relation gives us how much amount of volume fraction of the body is submerged if the density of the body and density of fluid is given. Therefore, the submerged volume fraction of a floating body is equal to the ratio of average density of the body to the density of the fluid. Note that when the density ratio is equal to or greater than 1, the floating becomes completely submerged. You can see here, this is your floating body whose density is less than the density of the fluid, so it will float. This is suspended body, neutrally buoyant, because density of fluid is equal to density of the body. And if density of the body is more than density of fluid, it is sinking body. In the following from this discussion, that a body immersed in a fluid remains at rest at any point in the fluid when its density is equal to the density of the fluid. It will sink to the bottom when its density is greater than the density of the fluid, and rises to the surface of the fluid and floats when the density of the body is less than the density of the fluid. The buoyancy force is proportional to the density of fluid, and thus we might think that buoyancy force is exerted by gases such as air invisible. You can see from this relation, this buoyancy force is proportional to density of the fluid. The fluid can be air. This is certainly the case, but there are significant exceptions. For example, the volume of a person is about 0.1 meter cube, and taking the density of air to be 0.2 kg per meter cube, the buoyancy force exerted by the air on the person is that Fv is equal to density of fluid into gravity into volume is equal to 1.2 Newton. The weight of a 80 kg person is approximately 70-88 Newton. So you can see only 15% of error in calculation of the weight. But the buoyancy effects in gases dominate some important natural phenomena such as the rise of warm air in the cooler environment, and thus the onset of natural convection currents, the rise of hot air or helium balloons, and the air movements in the atmosphere. A helium balloon, for example, rises as a result of buoyancy effect until it reaches an altitude where the density of air equals the density of the helium in the balloon, assuming the balloon does not burst by then and ignoring the weight of the balloon skin. So Archimedes principle is used in the modern geology by considering the constituents to be floating on the sea of magma, measuring specific gravity by hydrometer. If you have a seawater aquarium, you have probably used a small cylindrical glass tube with some lead weight at its bottom to measure the salinity of the water by simply watching how deep the tube sinks. Such a device that floats in a vertical position and is used to measure the specific gravity of liquid is called hydrometer. The top of part of a hydrometer extends over the liquid surface. You can see here, this is your hydrometer. Bottom is lead, this is a tube. And the division of it allow one to read the specific gravity directly. The hydrometer is calibrated such that in pure water it reads exactly 1. So if the water is pure, it will show here 1 reading. Obtain a relation for a specific gravity of a liquid as a function of distance del z from the mark corresponding to pure water. Determine the mass of lead that must be poured into a 1 cm diameter, 20 cm long hydrometer if it is to float halfway in pure water. Noting that hydrometer is in static equilibrium, the buoyancy force Fv exerted by the liquid must always be equal to the weight W of the hydrometer. This is buoyancy force, this is weight of hydrometer. In pure water, let the vertical distance between the bottom of the hydrometer and the free surface of water be Z0. So this is Z0. Setting buoyancy force is equal to W in this case, with Fv is equal to W because it is at this position, in equilibrium position. So W hydro is equal to buoyancy force, which is density of water into gravity into volume submerged. Now volume submerged is equal to area of this tube multiplied Z0, which is area to Z0. In a fluid lighter than water, density of fluid less than density of water, the hydrometer will sink deeper and the liquid level will be a distance of del Z above Z0. So means if the liquid is having lesser density than water, in that case the liquid level will go beyond this point, means level is up to this position or it may be higher. In that case, what will be buoyancy force and weight will be balanced. So that will be W hydro is equal to buoyancy force in different fluid is equal to density of fluid into gravity into volume submerged. Now in this case, volume submerged is Z0 plus del Z into say area. So this is the volume. This relation is also valid. You can see here, if this relation is valid for fluids heavier than water, but taking del Z negative, if the liquid is here is heavier than water, definitely this will go in upward direction. In that case, Z0 minus del Z will be this height of the hydrometer. So 1 and 2 equation both will define the weight of hydrometer. So these two must be equal. So and the weight in both cases equal will give you this equation here. And we know density of fluid by density of water is specific gravity. So you will get this relation Z0 by Z0 plus del Z, which is the relation between specific gravity of the fluid and del Z. Note that Z0 is a constant for given hydrometer and del Z is negative for fluids heavier than pure water. So in B part, determine the mass of lead that must be poured into a 1 cm diameter is given in 20 cm long hydrometer, this total length. If it is to float halfway in pure water, means 10 cm mark. Disregarding the weight of the glass tube, the amount of lead that needs to be added to the tube is determined from the requirement that the weight of the lead be equal to the buoyancy force. When the hydrometer is floating with half of it submerged in water, the buoyancy force acting on it is, so buoyancy force is equal to density of water into gravity into volume submerged. Now equating this to the weight of the lead. Now weight of lead is equal to mass into gravity. So when you equate this equation with this, the gravity will cancel out. We will get this equation here. Mass is equal to density of water into volume submerged. So we know density of water already. volume submerged is equal to pi r square into height of this tube submerged